Welcome back to New Rockstars. Is WandaVision's sitcom reality branding sword infiltrators with flair? Or are they following a super self-defeating dress code? Why did Monica Rambeau out herself with that sword necklace? And more importantly, did she go to Jared? I'm Erik Voss, and this is Rogue Theory. With me today is the uncut gems of the show, Tommy Bechtold.
Hey, Erik. Guess what? I'm not wearing jeans again for the 100th straight day. That's right. No zippers, no buttons, just cotton and elastic.
That's all a growing body needs.
That's right. And it is growing. It's just not growing the ways I want it to. It's going
we'll get
like
there.
This, and like this.
Also with us, the
like
Tiffany's
this.
to my Zales, Marina Mastros.
I love that. Oh man, I fared way better than Tommy in that analogy.
This is how I win.
Yeah.
And we are thrilled to have back on the show our friend, comedian, and 24-karat solid gold dude, Tom Michelsen.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was like, what jewelry reference am I going to get? This will be a good one, but I'll get a 24 karat. Thanks for having me back. Happy New Year. I got my new Rockstars beard like Erik and Tommy. So yeah, let's get it going.
Marina, where is yours?
Oh, back here.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's all
yeah,
in the
back.
back.
Oh, nice.
It's all
Yeah.
party in the back over there. At,
It's party in the back,
Mastros.
yeah.
Put it back. We just part in the front.
All
Yeah.
of these jewelry puns are courtesy of off-screen producer Zach. He actually had the whole intro of the show, that kind of thing, and I said, we need to tell people what the show is about at the beginning, Zach.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine. So let us talk about Westview's relationship with Sword. A little later in this episode, we're going to keep talking about WandaVision and finally figure out what the hell all those Hexagon images are about. But let's start with this question. We've been obsessing over these first 3 episodes of WandaVision, and, you know, by now we kind of know what Geraldine/Monica's necklace is a reference to, and we've come up with some solid explanations over what Sword is and what their mission could be, but we haven't really talked enough about why would Monica wear that necklace. Actually, Kevin Power and I were discussing this on Twitter this week, and he is onto something. It makes no sense for Sword agents to wear obvious flair that identifies themselves if they're trying to sneak in there. It's like Carol Danvers' joke in Captain Marvel with that shield hat. Does announcing your identity help with the covert part of your job?
Yeah.
So let's try to figure this out together. Let's start with the theory that Monica maybe didn't decide to wear this necklace herself, but that maybe Wanda's pocket reality might have a way of labeling or marking Sword outsiders. What do you guys think about this?
That's actually pretty close to what I was thinking, because actually my sort of like more fleshed out theory as I was watching the show, just like with my face glued to the screen, just if you watch it pressed up against the screen, then you get more information from it.
Yeah.
That's why I missed so much stuff. That's why. Gee.
Yeah. You're sitting too far away. You have to scoot closer. I think Shield sent her in episode 2 with a 60s outfit or a 50s outfit, whichever one is correct, John. Just pick whichever one. And when Wanda updates everybody's outfits to be the 60s, she does it to everybody with her powers, right? And when she brings up Wanda's brother, I think her mind picks out things that are threats to her reality and changes them. So it's not her walking in being like, you know what, I'm going to put on a shield necklace, because that doesn't, you're right, Erik, like that
Or a
doesn't
sword
make any
necklace,
sense.
yeah.
Or I mean, sorry, a sword necklace. So it doesn't make any sense for her to walk in with a sword necklace. That doesn't make any sense. But I mean, unless you want to sell merch, that is makes total
We know
sense.
the business angle for this outside
Yeah.
the reality
I'm sure it's
of the show.
pre-ordered
I mean,
at
I
Hot
already
Topic
ordered one.
already. Yeah.
Yeah. I ordered 15. So it is working. Okay, yeah. But when there's a threat, something shows up to Wanda to mark that person or to make them show up to her so that she can eject them, right? So the beekeeper's really unusual. The helicopter turns red. So it's not Monica coming in with something that is going to obviously set her apart. But once she makes that remark that seems threatening to Wanda, her mind changes something on her to signal to her, like, you have to get this person out of here. So Monica basically is like looks down and is like, oh shit. And then she gets booted. Yeah. So like, she didn't walk in with that, but whatever necklace she was wearing, and I should go back and rewind and make sure that, I mean, I wonder if anybody's done that. Did she have it on in the beginning of the episode
Yeah, I mean,
versus
she
the
did
end.
when she first walked in. The thing, though, is did she have anything, any kind of sword flair in episode 2? I'm not so sure. I mean, it
Right.
might have been tucked into her wardrobe, but like, Marina, you bring up an interesting angle there. Maybe it was Wanda's subconscious mind, you know, that just kind of, it's like protecting her.
Yeah.
But Wanda, you know, she was surprised when she saw it. She's like, what does that symbol mean? A lot of
Yeah.
this might be Wanda's subconscious mind, but does Wanda's subconscious mind only recognize sword because all these things have the sword logo or anything threatening, or is it just that only sword is capable of infiltrating this pocket reality?
I wonder more if it's not necessarily that it recognizes sword, or if sword is the manifestation of Wanda recognizing something is off, and it keeps revealing itself as sword. You know what I like?
Yeah,
almost like an
yeah.
animal knowing the difference between a predator and something that is not threatening. Like and we just keep seeing it visually manifested as sword. Gear, you know, sword on the helicopter, sword. So my thing is, I'm wondering if like anyone in that realm has a certain amount of amnesia. Anyone who goes in there, no matter what, whether they were dressed period appropriately or not, they go in with a certain wardrobe and their minds are immediately wiped by whoever is doing this magic, whatever, whether this is artificial intelligence or actual magic. And then I wonder if as things are going on and as the reality starts to shatter around them, people's memories are coming back more. So I wonder if Geraldine/Monica really was just starting to remember that stuff in the moment there. Like if she really had no idea what she was doing there and thought that she was genuinely supposed to be there, and that those visual reminders are clues to the viewer that these people are starting to catch on to their own actual reality.
Totally unintentional. And then she, again, looks down and is like, oh shit.
I had a pretty great sword necklace when I was in high school. Me and all my friends had it, and it had a little sheath, and when you took it out, there was a little bump of Special K on it. And then you put it back in, and nobody ever knew, and that's why we all failed math.
Because of the necklace, obviously.
But we passed creative writing.
Yeah. Did great in theater.
I was thinking like, and not to go rogue here, I know we don't really do that here, but I can't help but think that like maybe the necklace was on purpose, because what if it works in like Inception, where it's like a token that helps ground you and remind you who you are, where you are, and like Inception, in this dream within a dream, you get lost. You know, you can get lost very easily, and maybe it's one of those things where, because sword, they weren't caught by Wanda in any way. She found the helicopter, saw the logo, so she was kind of planting the figuring it out, and you know, what was going on in the first place. And then so by the time Monica comes around, she doesn't necessarily know that maybe her cover's blown per se. By the time when Wanda's really like, hey, what's that necklace? And then, because I don't think Monica's aware of the beekeeper. I don't think she's aware that she found a helicopter with the logo on it. So for her, it's something that the sword agents use as a key or like Inception, like a token to keep them grounded and remember who they are. But then now she just got SOL when Wanda was like, what is that? Get out of here. Yeah.
I like that idea a lot, this idea of a token. And you know what? Now that we're looking back on it, I wonder if Geraldine/Monica, is Monica Rambeau going in there because she didn't have any protective gear, the reality started to kind of brainwash her, and that's why they had to send in a second guy, the beekeeper, to try to go fish her out. But then, you know, Wanda stopped that shit dead in its tracks, and then was able to sniff out the other sword infiltrator. Do you guys think it's like possible that this pocket reality, whoever's really orchestrating it, pulling the strings, has a way of manifesting something's true nature? So like all these things are getting stamped and marked with this sword logo because the rules of the reality know that they really represent a sword infiltration, kind of like in Oz, you know, the Wizard of Oz. Once all these things get translated in Dorothy's potential dream, like the wizard was the magician, the soothsayer figure who was able to tell her fortune. Ms. Gulch gets translated into the Wicked Witch of the West. And in the same way that in this reality, things that were on the outside have a way of getting translated into a more simplified sitcom-y version of it. In this case, it's like a sword beekeeper. It's Monica Rambeau wearing this sword necklace. Is there anything to that?
Totally, because also, Eric, like you're talking about an emotional truth that also would just makes itself known in everybody's psychology in general, and she wouldn't really be an exception to that just because she has power. So like you can convince yourself that something isn't true, but you know it is. Like deep down, you'll dream about it. Like if you really suppress something, you might dream about it, or you might like, say to everybody else in the world, like, no, whatever. I'm a millionaire. I'm totally rich. I have $1 bajillion, and I know that that's true. But eventually, know deep down that that's a reality. So she can build this entire world to convince herself the Vision is still alive, that she gets to have kids, that all of this stuff is happy, happy, happy. But deep down, I think you're right. She knows subconsciously, and it's like leaking into her reality that she's building for herself, even though she kind of doesn't want it to.
Yeah, I think what we might find is like the sword ones are the obvious ones to us because we're still kind of figuring out what this logo means, but then maybe we'll go back and look at these episodes and find that like other characters, little things about them were significant, like Dottie being kind of in charge of this cul-de-sac. She could have like some kind of alternate role on the outside. Jones with getting fired or something like that. Herb cutting into the wall. That maybe he is someone who's literally trying to chisel his way into the pocket reality and then and now he's still trying to cut down walls. Like it'll be fun to see if there's some kind of like analog to each of them, and that's why they're expressed the way they are inside Westview.
One of them really just likes 60s clothing.
Yeah. Do you guys think that there's anything to this idea that maybe all of this is Sword, and that it's kind of like every little Sword clue we're seeing is just a version of Westview trying to signal to Wanda, hey, all of this is brought to you by Sword, and that this whole thing is a Sword operation.
Most definitely. I think that's kind of like we were talking about last week with the Truman Show element of it, that these are all pieces in this big giant game. And one reason I think that could be true is I wonder if this is a defense mechanism against Wanda. Like if maybe in the real world, Wanda is on the verge of doing something catastrophic, and they've kind of got her in a stasis right now. And they've used this kind of like, last ditch effort to freeze her in time and then trap her in whatever this world is, as they're trying to figure out how to calm her down and get her to stop or persuade her subconsciously to stop doing whatever she's doing. Like I keep throwing my hands up like she's literally like I'm doing her magic, but like I just am picturing
you are
like
Scarlet Witch.
In Civil War. God, it's my dream to stand in front of a green screen, by the way, and move my hands like this, and then have everyone in the crew be like, "That guy's such an idiot." But then when it comes out, I'm shooting lightning bolts out. I wonder. Like I'm just picturing like when she threw crossbones into the building in Civil War. Like if there's something similar to like that destructive where she's just got someone, she's on the verge of killing someone, and so this is all an effort to kind of defuse the bomb, but the bomb is Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
She's bowling and they put safety lanes, bumpers. Bowling lanes.
Yes. Westview is the safety lanes. Now, based off of how episode 3 ended, the town of Westview is there in the real world. It's not all an illusion just in her head. Like we can see from the outside looking in, there are structures, there's a town welcome sign. But that all could have been like a Potemkin village, right? That they put Wanda in, and she's like wandering around mindlessly, but really there's like, they have some kind of waves that are projecting in her head, this around her. Or maybe it's like a two-way thing, because at the end of the day, it's not barf, right? It's not sword warping a reality. It's not like that kind of false simulated reality, because this is WandaVision. Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, her powers are to be able to rewrite reality and warp reality. It's coming from inside her going outward, not outside her going in.
Right. And to that point, like I understand it's a physical place, but we haven't seen into that place yet. I mean, I could literally, not that I'm trying to defend this point, she could literally be in some sort of like containment cell in the center of the town that we haven't seen yet. Like she could still be, it could still be, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, and I really like the idea that she is in control and in charge, and he's warping things to how she sees fit. I mean, you guys brought up last week too that maybe the beekeeper suit is just her point of view on what a hazmat suit coming through would look like, and that it looks like a beekeeper. I think, and then that goes all the way down to like the outfits and how they look and how everybody looks, and at the same time, it clues us into like what you've said before, Eric, which is her powers stay reality even after you get ejected from this world, and so she's in total control, subconsciously it looks like, of this entire situation, and like how is that going to play out? And that's what brings everybody back, like, holy crap, what's happening in the show?
But I think no matter who is really behind this, whether it's Agnes, a mysterious third party that we've talked about a bunch of different options, Grim Reaper, Mephisto, maybe AIM or something like that. The nature of this pocket reality is such that they are very good at labeling and marking like white blood cells within a body, foreign entities that have come in and don't belong there. So that tells us something about what's really going on, right? That it recognizes things that should be in there and things that shouldn't be in there, and have a way of translating them for Wanda to be able to identify and eject.
Things that are productive to this or not, yeah.
She doesn't really want to wake up. Like, as much as she wants to stay in this reality, and everything that presents itself as danger to her, waking up to reality is a danger to her, but also everybody else. So it's in everybody's interest to be like, no, like, stay in your bumper lane, in your bowling baby lane, just until, like Tommy was saying, we can get things under control, and then like gently ease her out. Because I don't think anybody is trying to like get her out lickety split, like just shoot her out of this reality, because that's super dangerous.
Or it's like, they want to control her until they get what they want, which...
Yeah, it could be that too.
Well, this is still Rogue Theory, and I still award points to people in my mind whenever I talk to them. I keep track in a meticulous spreadsheet, everyone's weaknesses, their strengths, their benefits to society, and ways that they can spell doom. So the version of that in this pocket reality is to manifest in golden sparkle box. The golden sparkle buck of this segment will go to Tom Michelsen for coming up with that great idea of tokens. That idea of Inception tokens. I think that's really cool. I like that idea.
When you said Tom, I thought for sure.
Same Tom. I was like, there's a drum roll after the Tom. It's like, Tom, and that's it, just Tom. And I'm like, oh,
Tom!
Yeah.
Well, Tom Bechtold gets a blue sparkle buck.
All right.
For confessing his Special K problem when he was a young man.
Yes. Former problem. Now my only drug is candy. It's my strength and my weakness. Sweet, sweet candy. Candy is what I call crack.
Yeah, I was about to be like,
Marina gets a magenta sparkle buck for jumping on the grenade first with her take. First
That's
out of
right.
the gate gets another little special point.
I'm brave, but not always right.
Hey, you still get points for bravery. Well, we're going to theorize more about Westview and what the damn hexagons mean. But first, this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, you now can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed with BlueChew.com. That's blue like that color blue. Blue Chew is the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You can take them anytime, day or night, even if you're on a full stomach, to be ready whenever an opportunity arises.
Eric, I like to eat a big bowl of Alfredo before I take my Blue Chew. I like to get...
just the Alfredo sauce. No noodles mixed in, no chicken, just the sauce.
I simply can't perform unless I carbo load, and for me, it's Alfredo and Blue Chew every time.
Yeah, and that's, hey, you need that
flavor.
sauce because you need the sauce to make some Voss sauce. That's what I say to myself every day when I start. Somehow I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
Blue Chew is made in the USA. It's prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor or wait in line. It's even cheaper than a pharmacy, and they prepare and ship it right to you in a discreet package. No awkwardness, and you don't need to leave the house. Though we know for Tommy, he's fine either way. He doesn't mind it being shouted from the mountaintops.
No, I have a town crier deliver mine. I have him march it from Main Street all the way to my house. And then I have him feed me one ceremonially.
Delivery for Thomas Bechtold.
Blue Chew here, Blue Chew.
Hey, Eric, I got a question. Are those bucks, are they really just foil wrappers open from Blue Chew? There's like a strawberry flavor, there's blueberry, and then now gold, whatever gold is like their Magnum flavor. I'm not sure what.
Oh, shush, Tom. You're going to lose your golden Blue Chew wrapper. Sparkle Buck. Folks, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code ROGUE. Just pay $5 in shipping. That's it. Again, that's BLUE Chew.com, promo code ROGUE to try it free. Blue Chew is a better, cheaper choice, and we thank them for sponsoring this podcast. And remember, when you support our sponsors, you help make this podcast possible, so please be sure to use our promo code ROGUE at BlueChew.com. We also want to thank our friends at Audible for sponsoring this episode. Audible is a leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks, from bestsellers to celebrity memoirs, languages, business, motivation, and now podcasts. For a second there, we were just saying nouns. Cactus, SpaghettiOs.
Toaster. Erik, I like a big bowl of Alfredo before I listen to my audiobooks. And a Blue Chew.
You can slurp your Alfredo sauce as loud as you want. Audible is still going to be crystal clear and super entertaining and life-affirming, because you're a person who eats Alfredo sauce by the spoonful. One thing I really appreciate on Audible is all the great sci-fi and fantasy content. They have a huge collection of Star Wars audiobooks, including the new-ish Thrawn and Ahsoka and Leia solo books. And now that like all these things are going to be in live action, you got to go back and read these books or just listen to them via Audible, because they're so good. They're so well written. And you're going to get caught up on what Dave Filoni is thinking when he's making these into live action stuff, and you'll see why they're so great. I also love when there's a recognizable voice narrating a great story, like Tim Curry does all of the Lemony Snicket books. They also have Mahershala Ali, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Zachary Quinto, a bunch of other great famous folks narrating their thousands of titles. It feels like you're best friends with them, and they're just whispering them in your ear as you're going off to bed.
Aww.
That's what my best friends do.
Like Tommy does. Tommy, I've asked you to get out away from my second story window. I don't know how you're doing that, but you whisper.
Time for you to sleep, Erik. Time for you to go to sleep. Charlie Brown was the saddest little boy in the world, but he loved his dog Snoopy.
I'm falling asleep. That's so soothing. I'm falling asleep over here. Oh, damn, Tommy. Sorry.
Ooh, and with Audible Plus, you get full access to the Plus catalog, which is filled with thousands and thousands of select originals, audiobooks, podcasts, including ad-free versions of popular shows, as well as exclusive series. If you're a fan of true crime podcasts, they have a treasure trove of original ones at Audible. Visit audible.com/Rogue Theory or text Rogue Theory to 500-500 to start your free 30-day trial. That's audible.com/Rogue Theory or text Rogue Theory to 500-500 to start your free 30-day trial. And finally, New Rockstars is excited to announce that we are partnering with the app Stereo to launch 3 new weekly live shows. The shows will be live on the Stereo app, which you can download for free at stereo.com/newrockstars. If you download using that link, you'll automatically follow us and be notified about our new shows when they're coming out. With Stereo, you can interact with our podcasts in real time. You can submit voicemails that we will air in the episodes as we're recording them, as you're listening, and then we're going to react to you. We're going to answer your questions during the episodes. So these 3 new shows, they're going to be exclusive to Stereo. Their podcasts are audio only. So these are the 3. There's going to be an expanded interactive version of our Inside Marvel WandaVision after show with me and Jessica Clemens. That's going to air every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's going to be what we're calling New Rockstars News. It's really just going to be me and Philip casually reacting to the biggest nerdy headlines of the week and answering your questions about them. That's every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we're launching this new crazy thing called Comments with our editors John Costa and Joshua Hurd reacting to the comments on New Rockstars YouTube channel from the past week and addressing your comments and your concerns and various questions you have had, like why Erik missed this thing, or what is the weird story behind this tiny text that flashes on screen. That's going to be every Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
It seems like a dangerous game to play.
Very, very dangerous. It might get canceled after a week. We'll see. So to access these live shows and submit us your voicemail questions and theories and interact with us in real time, you download the free Stereo app at stereo.com/newrockstars. That's stereo.com/newrockstars. Okay, back to WandaVision. This show keeps bringing back hexagons and the number 6. So much so that I now kind of regret ever bringing it up because people are now tweeting me constantly with insane reaches that, like, Monica's clearly octagonal earrings are actually hexagons, or all the time codes at the specific time add up to the number 6. 6 plus 5, which is 1 less than 6, is 9/11. Or, random hexagons in other movies and shows. They must be connected to the hexagons in this show. I get it. The conspiracy blood is on my hands. I rocked this.
You're Q. You're Q from QAnon.
Yeah.
1/6, January 6th. That's when it happened. Oh my God. But within WandaVision, it's possible these hexagons that show up in the sitcom editing of episodes 1, 2, and 3. That's all I'm saying is connected, folks. It's within the show episode to episode. I think they could actually mean something. So let's go rogue here. Let's try to figure out what these hexagons are all about. And leading off with the possibility that these could be connected to the hexagonal AIM logo. You remember AIM, right? That's Advanced Idea Mechanics. That was Aldrich Killian's company from Iron Man 3.
Yes.
In the comics, AIM is a much bigger deal than it is in the MCU. The henchmen have these kind of beekeeper-esque yellow jumpsuits. AIM is connected to MODOK. We've talked about AIM on the channel before. They might be coming back in the MCU. I'm not sure if they're going to come up in WandaVision, but do you guys think AIM could somehow be behind this Westview operation?
Well, why couldn't it be similar to the sword logo that we're seeing? Why is this just not another identifier, another marker on the game board of WandaVision from whatever this entity is that's creating this world? Swords, hexagons, hedge clippers. We don't know. They all mean something. They all mean something, Eric. I'm like many of your fans. I've stayed up day and night deconstructing these theories. The numerology, the symbols are everywhere. But I think that it's probably what's just right in front of us. And that's the logo for a very famous evil entity in the Marvel comic universe. This is probably its reintroduction into the cinematic universe after it was in, obviously, Iron Man 3, but it will be thrust again into the forefront, I think, with Hydra no longer really being a threat.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that, at first I was like, no, they're just referencing the hex magic that Wanda is known for, because maybe they're just trying to tie into, it's no longer just weird powers. It's actually magic that she's going to be using. But then, after a few new Rockstars videos, I was like, there's actually one too many connections there. And so now I'm kind of back on the bandwagon of, okay, this probably is AIM. I mean, it's just too much of a coincidence.
I'm so sorry, Tom. I'm so sorry I radicalized you.
but it was just, I don't think that they were responsible for all the problems in the world, the number 6, but I do think AIM is part of this show. One theory I was thinking about is, what if we've been thinking about this the wrong way? What if AIM is actually the one who approached Wanda and was like, hey, we got a way that you can be with Vision again, And so they brought her into the loop, and maybe they've even hooked her up to something so that way she can tap into this world and her power to be with Vision. But then, it's now gone kind of haywire, and now it's kind of blown up worse than we have. And that's why swords come in to try to solve and fix the situation. So maybe, like the Hellfire Club trying to control the Phoenix, maybe this is AIM trying to control Wanda and losing that control, and maybe then all the people who live there are actually AIM agents instead of just constructs, and that's what kind of got me thinking about, like, maybe there's, like, they want to wait and extract what they need to, because maybe by Wanda being hooked up to this thing, that they're able to utilize the power of an Infinity Stone, essentially.
Yeah,
and maybe that's their way of doing this. I don't know.
I like your thinking, Tom, and I know a lot of our viewers are going, yes, thank you. Someone's finally going into it. I flatly disagree. No problem. I just hate you now. No, I'm just kidding. Fair. I deserve it.
We are not friends.
Well, here's my issue with it is, like, Marvel has pulled this card before. I get why people think this could be possible, because we heard Hail Hydra, come back in Winter Soldier. Kevin Feige during Comic-Con 2019 was like, hey, remember the 10 rings? They may have just seemed like a one and done thing, but they're coming back. With AIM, I totally think AIM could come back in the MCU. I just think, WandaVision has only 2/3 of its episodes left. They've already laid a lot of groundwork getting us to know what Sword could be. Are they really going to spend a lot of time be like, well, in addition to Sword, there's this whole other organization that came back from the early MCU that you're also going to have to get to know. It just seems a little muddy.
That's
it seems like
point.
there's a
and
lot.
Like, here's everything
there.
you need to know about these guys now. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like halfway through Lost. They're like, hey, the Dharma Initiative. There's also another organization called the Karma Collective. And they're
That's
also
just a great
kind
band.
of behind it.
Karma.
Right.
Yeah.
Culture Club.
So I don't know. I think AIM could come back in the MCU. I hope it comes back in the MCU, especially if MODOK shows up.
I'm just relieved. I'm really happy to see that Wanda is using AIM to get back together with Vision. As a boy, I used AIM to get back together with my ex-girlfriend, AOL Instant Messenger.
Yep.
There
Tap,
it is.
tap. Send a quick
There it
message.
is.
Online.
Will you go put an away message up? Thinking of you. Put your anniversary in your profile. Put a song lyric. Maybe change the font color to pink to let her know you're thinking about her. Good job. I see you, Wanda. You're a romantic.
Now, what I'll say is I think the hexagons are important, but maybe not as important as we've been making it out to be. You know, we keep saying, oh, it's 6. There's 6 sides to a hexagon, 6 points, so it's a sign of the devil, 666. Mephisto, I think, could show up. I don't know if the hexagons will be connected to that, but I think right now it's an aesthetic choice. Every episode ends with like a hexagon wipe, or in the opening credits of the Brady Bunch episode, there was hexagons there. I think what we might see is some kind of like bird's eye view of the outside of Westview, and maybe it's just laid out on a hexagonal like grid.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like there's not any deeper.
Right. I bet it could be something so simple, like maybe she wakes up and there's a light above her that's in the shape of a hexagon. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
It could probably be something
absolutely. That
so
could be it.
simple. But it definitely, I went from it's nothing, it's just a slight reference to, okay, now it's something. I just don't
It's
know
everything.
why.
You were radicalized by the internet. A prominent force on the internet radicalized you. I just am now picturing Mephisto like emerging, and he's just draped in hexagons. Like he's just got like hexagon bangles. He's got a hexagon crown. He's just
like
and he's just
80s,
like pushing it into the screen.
Bead things where you pull yourself through.
Hexagon rings.
As we saw when, because I first got into like nerdy recaps reading Jeff Jensen's articles after Lost, on Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
That guy is now a writer on Watchmen and stuff like that. So I'm like, there's a future for me to make this stuff too. But like, the one thing I learned from doing that, and a show like HBO's Watchmen, it's good for this too. There is a difference between things that are important and things that are the answer. Some things can be super important and come back and tell us certain things about understanding the show, but are not the answer to, or not the number 42, the answer to everything. And like just by looking at the hexagons, it can give us some kind of importance that will be revealed at the end of the show, but isn't necessarily the answer. And the answer can still be Mephisto, but it doesn't mean the hexagons are connected to that. It's just like kind of what Tom was saying. It might have been like a hexagonal light, or her mind, her body is strapped into something. There's like a hexagonal halo that's over her, or that like the spell that she used to cast, try to bring Vision back to life. It was kind of this eldritch magic looking sparkle thing that was in the shape of a hexagon, and it was called hex magic. And then that blew up, and now that's what Westview is.
Fargo kind of does that. That's kind of similar to like what Fargo, the TV show, does. There's a lot of things that are important, but ultimately don't answer anything. They don't.
And Fargo is produced by Noah Hawley, who also did Legion, which I think there are a ton of parallels with Legion and WandaVision.
In Eric, you were saying Watchmen, like the theme of and the concept of an egg was like really important in that show, but it kind of was the answer at the end, but it wasn't like every single thing has to do with an egg. But it was an important symbol with the show, so it could just be that of like hexagons symbolically could mean a lot of things, and also it could be just like a light or whatever, or a bangle, a nice bangle.
Nice bangle.
Marina,
definitely
you tapped into my future TED Talk theory in which everything is eggs. It sounds stupid, but I am going to write a book one day that explains how everything in art and media, everything in life, if you understand fundamentally what an egg is, that is everything. And I look at
That's the
everything
future
as eggs.
spoiler alert for Eric's future.
God, we're watching
Hollywood
the origin.
script. It's gonna be like, it was an egg the whole time. It was an egg. That'll be
Eric's supervillain origin.
right.
Yeah.
You guys need to watch this this short story that they've animated on YouTube called The Egg. and it's like the most beautiful thing in the world, and I love it, and I watch it once a month, and it's perfect. I'll put it in the comments, and you guys might already know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let us know in the comments below what you think this six, or this recurring six, or absence of the number six, or the hexagons is really all about. I want to hear your craziest theory, because I do love talking about it. But we have time. Oh, wait, no. Whoa. Okay, so Marina, for saying that everything's eggs and allowing me to soapbox, you get a golden sparkle box.
Whee!
And Tom,
does it come with a
you also get a golden sparkle box.
Hey-o.
Because even though I don't agree with your aim theory, I like that you have thought about it more than I have. And Tommy, you get another blue one.
Okay.
I don't have a reason. You just get it.
And you deserve it.
He's so sad.
It's all fun and games, and we have a good time here. But growing up, I didn't have much. Hot dogs and macaroni and cheese for dinner 4 or 5 nights a week. Dad wasn't around, and gold sparkle bucks were really all I had to look forward to. And I find myself as an adult now with my son disappointed in me as I was with my father, thinking that maybe a golden sparkle bucks would have saved it today. But a blue one is fine, and we'll regroup. And I am just happy to get a chance to talk with my peers, and I wish everyone the best of luck.
All right, Tommy, I'm taking away one of your blue sparkle bucks. You just have one more.
No!
The cold truth is a dessert in Tommy's house was a can of Alfredo sauce.
Yeah, it was. And that's why I
Just
can't
a
get enough
cold
of it
can.
now.
Just open it and
comfort.
they go.
A can, not even a jar. You had an industrial can.
When I get married, my wife and I are going to smear Alfredo sauce in each other's face with a spoon.
All right, we got time for one final rogue question. Everyone's going to answer this, and the one I like the best will get a sparkle buck of some kind. Our question this week, in political news, Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy, new president pro tempore of the Senate, and third in line of succession to the president. Wait a minute, it goes Vice President, Speaker of the House,
Fourth.
President pro tempore. That's right. So third or fourth, yeah. Has cameos. This guy is great. Batman fans know this guy. He loves Batman. He is in all the Batman movies. He's the one who says, we don't cower to thugs, and the Joker's like, you remind me of my father. That's Patrick Leahy. He is also in Batman v Superman. He's on the Senate panel next to old crooked mouth, what's her face? Holly Hunter. I drank peach tea. Yeah. She has an adorable crooked mouth. I love Holly Hunter so freaking much.
God.
And he's the one next to her. He's another senator. Anyway, this guy loves Batman, and he is president pro tempore. He will be presiding over the impeachment proceedings because the Chief Justice is like, I ain't touching that shit. So I want to know from you guys, what is the most Batman-y legislation that Patrick Leahy could try to pass?
No guns, no killing.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Wear a mask, not for your own protection, but for the people you love. Wasn't that a lesson from Batman?
Have all kids learn martial arts so they can back you up if you need it.
It's also just repealing all taxes on rich people so that if you are rich, you can just become Batman. Like if you're rich, you need to be able to become a superhero. So like no more taxes.
Well, I'm going to give the golden sparkle buck to Tommy Bechtold on that one.
Redemption, buddy.
Redemption.
You got it. You got to run
The
home,
mask for
Tommy.
those
Run
who love.
home.
A golden sparkle buck just for me? Wow.
Oh,
But I'm not the guy who ever wins. I'm always Mr. Second Place. I'm always Mr. Runner-Up.
Here it comes.
Now I'm drunk with power.
Well, you didn't win
Drunk
today.
with power.
Tom Michelsen is our winner with his 2 sparkle bucks.
Hey!
Congratulations, Tom Michelsen.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Now Tommy's devastated again.
Yeah. I just love snatching things out of the claws of victory.
Dangle it and then knock it up.
Well, that is it for this episode of Rogue Theory. I want to thank our guests, Tommy Bechtold, Marina Mastros, Tom Michelsen. Follow all of them on social media. Support all of their wonderful things they say and do. You can support our channel by checking out one of our many great merch options, like this Hi, I'm Erik Voss shirt and our other WandaVision-inspired designs, An Unusual Couple. We're selling out of those quickly. Check those out at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars on YouTube. And another reminder to download the Stereo app by going to stereo.com/newrockstars so that you can listen to our 3 new weekly live shows shows. It's not just our shows on stereo. You can join conversations about a wide range of conversation topics, comedy, pop culture, and sports. Download the app for free on Apple and Android and create an avatar and profile. Be sure to download now so you can submit questions to one of our upcoming shows. See you next time, boners!
Yeah.